Hi guys, how you going? Welcome back to the channel, or if you're new, welcome. So today I'm going to be swapping out my old King's 270 awning for the new OPENROAD 4-wheel drive 270 awning. So the guys at OPENROAD 4-wheel drive have reached out to me to put this one through its paces. And as you can see from my channel and all the previous videos, they get a decent workout all across Australia. So what I'm going to do is take you through the installation on the OPENROAD 4-wheel drive awning, as well as point out all its key features and why it may take it up a notch level compared to my King's 270. So there's quite a few little differences and nuances. And if you go back to the channel, there's a video specifically on my last overview on the King's 270 awning and all the pros and cons. And I think you'll see some of the reasons why this one here potentially takes it up a notch. All right, let's get stuck into it. All right guys, so the guys at OPENROAD were kind enough to send out this awning for me to do the review for you guys. But again, as per usual, and you'll know from my channel, you'll get the warts and all in relation to it, and you will get extensive use trials out in the outback of Australia. Again, like we've taken this awning up here all across Central Australia, full driving up in the high country, up Jamison Way, Kevington, you name it, we've taken it everywhere. We've just recently come back from Ceduna, Maralinga, Kingunya. Again, go back to the channel, there's a whole heap of videos where you can see how much punishment I put these things through, and it'll be trialled in all sorts of conditions. So this will be just the first video of many in the whole series on this awning, and maybe some other gear from OPENROAD. All right, let's unbox it and I'll take you through some of its features. And the guys at OPENROAD have also sent out the wall kit. I'm a big advocate of the walls on the 270 awnings. If you go back to the channel, you'll see there's a variety of videos on the King's awning and its wall kit. So with this one, again, I'm super happy that it's come out with this as well, and especially the fact that it's got that special blackout material. So what's going to happen is, not only is the roof going to be blacked out, all the walls are going to be blacked out. So especially if you're actually sleeping inside that surround, if you don't want the early morning sun coming in to wake you up, it's absolutely perfect for that. And this wall kit, what puts it apart from the rest is that basically every panel has a door in it. So it doesn't matter on how you set things up, you'll have a door with a fly screen as well. And this whole thing comes in this great little bag, and this only weighs about 14 kilos. So let alone the actual awning itself is only 23 kilos. And then it comes with 3 separate brackets, which only weigh about 2.3 kilos in total. So that's one of the big things, which is a big plus for me. Like, I'm trying to reduce the weight in my 4-wheel drive, and this awning with its brackets and its walls is heavy. I'm looking for weight reduction, and also I'm looking at putting a rooftop tent coming up soon. So, and I need to get the overall total weight on the roof down to under 100 kilos, okay? And this is something you guys need to be mindful of what you put in your car and also what you put on your roof, because your roof have a variety of different load ratings depending on your car. I've obviously got the Pajero, the Gen 4 model, and 100 kg is the max. All right guys, so let's remove the King's 270 and install the new OPENROAD 4-wheel drive 270 awning. All right, so if you haven't heard of OPENROAD before, they were founded back in 2015. And they've been trading for over 10 years now. So they've got a decent range of 4-wheel drive gear out on the website. And I'll pop up a link online where you can go sort of check it out. And they've got a whole bunch of sort of awnings, rooftop tents, electric winches, and sort of off-road accessories. And like I said, they've been established in the US for quite some time now, 10 years. And they've recently sort of launched into the Australian market. And they've also got a warehouse here in Australia, so you can expect relatively quick deliveries. Again, this unit came out very quickly from their locally based DC in Australia. Now, I suppose what makes this one worthwhile, and it's a little bit different compared to what you've seen before with the King's one, is this one's got a 230 GSM fabric with black PU coating. Gives excellent blackout effect and noticeably cooler. So we'll see when I take it out basically whether or not it actually makes a big difference, but I dare say it will. So you'll see from my previous videos and the fabrics on a lot of the awnings out there, whether or not they're, give you the absolute ultimate UV resistant is debatable, but this one with its special fabric, I think should do the job quite nicely. It's waterproof rating up to 3,000 millimeters. It's got the 50 plus sun protection. You'll know this from a lot of my videos on the channel. We go out Central Australia, like mate, we're in the middle of nowhere and we're in the harsh sun, and having a nice place to be nice and cool is the absolute high priority for us. And again, one of the big issues with a lot of the freestanding awnings is the actual swing arms and the hinges. So these ones look to be relatively heavy duty and will definitely sort of put it through its paces. Now, one of the massive features which I think let me down quite a bit with the King's 270 awning was the fact that basically it did not have built-in LED light strips. And this one actually comes with 3 color modes. So it comes with warm, cool, and daylight. Whereas I had to basically buy some strips, ad hoc, Velcro tie them, cable tie the wiring, run all the wiring, and look, it works, it's okay, but it's not the ideal solution. But you'll see with this one, it's built into the unit itself, which is fantastic, and you can buy spare parts, which is a big plus, okay? Now, it also comes with built-in poles, which fold out. Again, another big plus. Again, the King's one, you ended up having to buy separate poles. And it ended up being, like, once you ended up buying everything, it actually ended up being quite expensive. Like, the awning is cheap itself, but it's the accessories where it actually absolutely kills you. All right, guys, so straight off the bat, already impressed, okay? So I love these brackets. So they're all individually wrapped. Solid construction. One of the things I feel with the King's ones, and they're super heavy, like, I reckon they're just like over-engineered. Like, again, mate, these are solid as, but like, there's a point where you take it too far. And as it stands, the King's guys, they ended up having they had the problems where the way the brackets were designed, the actual awning in the good gust of wind was flipping. They did correct it, and the new ones are all fine. But I can see the way these are designed, there's no opportunity for this to flip up. So that's a big plus, okay? All right, next thing, okay? So let's have a look at this. Again, I love this little bag, okay? All right, so you'll see with this, each of the individual lights, very super simple. There's just one little cable that ends up plugging into this corner of each of the ones, and you can plug this into a little power bank if you want. It's got a little USB adapter on it. I've got power to this point just inside, so I'll just plug it into my 12 volt system in the car. But even if you've just got a little battery pack, that'll do the job. You've got, again, straps, all your bolts, heaps and heaps of them, a couple of little spanners, okay? What have we got in here? More bolts, my God. All right, here's another heap of bolts, okay? So obviously they're covering every possible conceivable installation type, okay? We've got a couple of tie downs. It comes with these tie downs as well. Okay. So you got one of these, plus you got a couple of these guide ropes. Again, we'll check it all out. And then you've got some pegs, okay? The pegs seem very solid, no dramas there. So we'll see how that all pans out. So we'll pop those in there, because we won't need these for a little while. We'll pop that in there also. Okay, and that can go in there too. All right, so we'll set this aside for now. All right, other thing I'm very impressed with is these heavy duty straps look fantastic. One, they're the right length, okay? And two, there's one in the middle, okay? The King's one has only got one at this end and one at that end, and it crucially needs one in the middle. It makes it absolutely painful. when you're folding it up. So it's good that they've got that. Also, basically, one of the problems I found with the King's one, especially up this end where the brackets are, is there's some bolts at the top of the King's one. And what's happened is over a period of time, and especially because the King's bag at this end is super tight, it's a bit loose at this end, but what happens is the bolts at the top of this bracket are actually wearing through. So I've had it for 9 months now, and it's about to basically pop through about 4 or 5 holes in the top of this bag, which is a bit of a problem. What these guys have done is they've put an extra layer of plastic inside the bag, okay, to actually protect it, because you've got the bolts on the top. So that's going to help protect that as well, okay, so that's great. And you'll notice that they've also done it on this side as well, okay. And another thing too is the zips. These zips are great. As you can see, super easy, and they run so easy too is because the bag is the right size. So there is a little bit of play, but not too much in the bag. Whereas this one, you'll see it's super hard to pull across. And it also has these. So this makes it super easy to open and close. Whereas the King's one, it is a pain, and it is a pain. And again, the King's has the 2, but what happens is this one, it literally broke in the first day. And what you'll see with this one is, and this is what I'm talking about, it doesn't have this middle strap. So this flops down and it makes it painful to fold up. So what happens is, at this point, it's super tight. Then you've got to keep pulling this up because there's just not enough room in the bag. Okay, and you've got to keep tucking it in, all right? And then this is what I'm talking about, this point here as well, is that that doesn't have this extra protection, okay? I mean, it's great that I've got that there before I've even taken it off. So, and another big thing, right? Because for installation purposes, the King's one is a bit of a pain, and a lot of the other awnings out there, is the mounting tracks for these brackets are on the outside of the bag, okay? Whereas to install that, and if you go back to my channel, there's an installation video on that one. The installation was an absolute pain in the bum, okay? Because these tracks are actually inside the bag, and you need to put your brackets in the right position. Then you've got to pierce a hole through it. Then you've got to take the bag off. It is so painful. I can already see this is going to be super easy. So happy about that. Alrighty, so that's just my, I suppose, first impressions. Let's have another look. Crack it open. All right, I'm keen to see what this fabric's like. And I'm keen to see this, you know, they call it the Eclipse shade technology, this sort of ultra blackout system that they have, where it's, you know, it's this ripped off canvas, but then it's also lined on the inside. So I'm keen to see how that sort of works out in the sun. As you can see here, normally I would have the awning out whilst I'm working out here, but it's about to come off. I'm keen to see sort of how that happens, and that works also. So, all right. So let's we'll quickly just rip that one off, suss out how we're going to apply the new brackets. Now, every fit out when it comes to roof rack systems and that is going to be very different. So with these ones, it's good. These are fixed, okay, in that these positions are fixed. And again, what will happen is, and I'll give you a look. I love this. Super easy. So what's going to happen is with these brackets, right, they're just going to hop into wherever you want. Now, depending on your roof rack, you might end up going with a variety of different, like this may be here or it may have to be here, depending on the mounting point on your car. okay? But then it comes with so many different provisions here when you utilise the variety of different bolts that come with it. And mate, there are so many, you cover for every occasion. This will make it super, super easy for the install, okay? And one of the things you'll notice with mine, and I hope it pans out, I run my awning actually not on top of the roof rack, I run it actually below the roof rack. And that's because I work in the inner city and I need to fit into garages that are under 2 meters high. So me having it there is perfect in that I can open the car doors and I can drive into the car park at work. So in many instances, people will install their brackets like this, whereas I'll be installing mine like that. And again, you can do whatever you want, whatever suits. All right, off with the Kings and on with the OPENROAD. Let's go. And another thing I love about OPENROAD, because I make sure I check out everything before I do any of these videos, especially with new companies. One of the things I asked for specifically was spare parts, okay? So, see this bag? You can buy spare parts. This bag unscrews from both ends, comes off, and you can buy a bag if it gets damaged somehow. A branch rips it or tears it. You know, you can get spare parts. You know, the LED light strips, you can get spare parts. Okay, the poles, the drop-down poles, you can get spare parts. So that's one thing I love about it. The wife's telling me off because I haven't got my hat on. It's because I need to get this up so I can get into a bit of shade, that's why. Alrighty, alright, let's install this thing. Alright guys, so if you're interested in the comparison between the two, sort of side by side, you can sort of see there the difference. So the Kings one, and this is the Kings Tourer Mark II. It's probably about a foot or so longer at the left end. But what you need to understand is that most of the action actually happens at this part of the vehicle, because again, you know, you've got your sort of your kitchen comes out, and again, this is my setup, right? But I need to make sure I've got good coverage in this area. You got your fridge and whatnot. So at that end, probably not as a priority, but OPENROAD have got you covered in that. There is another awning which actually opens out even further, okay? So it's still pretty much the same size, but there's another arm which swings out, which takes you out even further at that end. You know, whether or not that was the way to go for me, we'll see. But for me, this is where all the action happens, and this is where I need the really good coverage. But you'll see it soon. That's it. That's it, bud. Thanks, bud. All right, guys, so there you can go. See it side by side. So you can see the variance at the end. So I'm talking about maybe 350-ish. And this is what I'm talking about with this one. You got to cut holes in the bag. You got to put elastic and silicone. You got to make sure you put them in the right place, and then screw it in. Okay. And this is what I was saying before. That's about to be a hole, a hole, a hole, a hole, a hole, a hole. And again, I never put anything on top. This is all because they didn't put that extra layer of protection underneath these bolt holes. Okay, so all right, let's rip these ones off. And you can see with these brackets, I ended up having to modify these, an extra hole in them, because this never had this previously. So I had to put this extra hole in to stop this thing from body flipping. So, but yeah, all right. Let's see how quick and easy this next step is. All right, guys. So the awning's off, the brackets are off. It was an extremely painful exercise. And again, look, I compliment Kings for trying to design like this thing, which, I mean, it's, I think, just absolute overkill. But again, you can't criticize them for that. But then the fact that it had design flaws in it, yeah, they did a pretty average job. So again, bye-bye. So welcome the new brackets, which I dare say will do as good a job, if not better. Again, strength wise, I'm not worried about it. Again, you got this sort of gusset in here to give it some extra support as well. And again, I'll keep an eye on the welds for you. I'll let you know if there's any problems, but I dare say it should be good. So what I'll do now is, now it comes with 3 brackets. All the gear that it comes with, I'm not going to need hardly any of it. But what I will need is, from the old installation, I had these U-bolts which go around the round bar on my roof rack. So what I'll be doing is I'll actually be reusing those because this kit, again, because it can't cater for everything, but I mean, I could use this stuff, it'll be fine, but because I got the round bar, it's better to use these bolts. So I'll just reuse these round bar bolts from the previous installation. And then what's going to happen is basically that's going to go in under the roof rack, and then that'll go in over the bar, and then we'll bolt from underneath. Okay, so just nice and neat. So I'll take you through that process now, and all I'm going to need out of this is the T-bolts that slide into the back track, which are so we're going to need, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to need about 12 of these T-bolts, and again, and these come in assorted lengths as well. Okay, so I only actually need the short ones. So we're going to use 12 of these T-bolts, washers, and lock nuts, and that's it. Because we're going to reuse those. And it should be pretty simple and straightforward. So what we're going to do first is we're going to install the brackets onto my roof rack. Okay, and in future videos you'll see, once I get the rooftop tent, all of this is going to come off. This roof rack's going to go. These roof rails are going to go. We're going to put in a backbone system. We're going to put in a rooftop tent. We'll refit the awning, and we'll put the solar panel on top. So watch out for future videos for that one. Okay. But in this instance, nice, quick and easy, we'll pop these in and I'll take you through the process. All right, let's go. I'm missing the awning at the moment because that's why I got the hat on, because it's bloody, I'm cooking. All right guys, so let's put this first bracket on. Now, I'm just going to show you a couple of things. Obviously, everyone's rooftop setup is going to be very different, okay? So what I'm doing is I'm actually fixing this bracket from underneath, and I'm going to be fixing it to these 2 main bars. Okay, so that's what I did last time, had no issues whatsoever, and this is perfect for my setup. And like I said, you can actually mount it on top like so, you can mount it on top like so. Okay, but for me, for my setup, I need this roof rack, the top of the awning, not to protrude past this, so this is what I'm doing. Okay, now with these U-bolts, all right, now you might need the length. I don't, and I find it quite problematic because when you need to put a socket on it, unless you've got a really long socket, sometimes these long bolts can be quite painful, and especially getting in there underneath, it's really tight and awkward. So what I do is I actually chop these down. Now the key to chopping these down is to make sure you screw the bolts on first, then cut them. Okay, now the reason you got to do that, it just makes it easier. Okay, so what happens is then once you've cut them, once you screw it back this way, it actually puts the thread in it properly. Okay, so you feel a little bit of resistance initially, okay, and then it's easier to come off. All right, so I've already done that one, this one will screw off. Again, a little bit of resistance, and then it comes off. Okay, so I've got 3, I've got 4, so I'm ready. All right. Now, what I'm also going to do is, previously I used nuts, which were not lock nuts, okay? Look, and they do come loose, especially on corrugations and whatnot. Now, what's come in the kit is a whole set of lock nuts and washers. So I'll be using those, all right? So, all right, now you'll see how easy this is. All right, so let's get the first one lined up. So these slots are obviously in a variety of different positions. There's no right position or wrong position, just whatever works, okay? So I'm just going to loose fit them. I'm also going to use this cross piece as well underneath. I'm going to pop that in. Okay. Then I'm going to use a washer and a lock nut. Okay. So like I said, lock nuts are really super important. You can use the compression washers, but I find they're nowhere near as good. So lock nuts are definitely the way to go. So, and again, just nice loose fit initially for all 4 of them. Okay. So I'll pop these on and then we'll come back and have a chat. Alright guys, that is absolutely solid as. Okay, so that's not going nowhere. That's going to be at the perfect height. These again, unique to my operation because of this. If you've got basically, for instance, a flat bar, then what they've provided will be perfect. But for me, in my instance, that's absolutely brilliant. So now what you need to be mindful of is make sure you line them all up, that they're all in exactly the same position. And if you do that, it's going to be super, super simple. All right guys, pretty much set and repeat. And then we'll come back when we're putting on the actual awning. All right guys, all done. Absolutely solid as, not going nowhere. All right, let's grab all the tools and pop the awning on. All right guys, as you can see, so I've ended up putting 2 brackets in. Only reason being is I think it's plenty, but also I needed to go and get some more U-bolts. But as you can see, sort of underneath, it's all screwed in nice and solid. Okay, it's all lined up in relation to the other one. Again, it's square to the roof rack, so we should have no dramas at all. And this is the benefit too of just having these short bolts, okay? So you can get the sockets on them nice and easy. All right. And again, if you look down from this side, if you can tell, but they basically perfectly line up. All right. Now, what we're going to do now, and again, this is nice and really simple. It's been designed really nicely. So like I said, that's the spare one. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put in the T-bolt. Slide that roughly into position. Get the next one. Slide that roughly into position. And set and repeat. So I'm using the short ones. You can use the long ones. And then what we're going to do, guys, is we just get these roughly into the right position. And then we're going to lift it. We just get it roughly into the right position. We'll lift it in place and then tighten it up. Too easy. All right, guys, so we've got brackets in place. We've got the T-nuts in place. I've got my son helping me now. All we're going to do is just basically lift it up in place. We'll line up these ones first. Just finger tight the nuts on, do the same in the front, and then lock it up and she's all good. Now the beauty is these T-nuts just slide into place wherever you need to. All right, so let's get it up there. There's a bit of weight in it. What I might suggest, let's actually open this door, and we'll open this door. Ultimately, if you have to rest it on it, you will, okay? All right, lift. Get it over this door in the first place. All right, so we're going to rest it on the door. Okay, now you just hold there. All right, move it towards me a bit. That's it. All good? Beautiful. All right, that's it. Thank you. All right, guys, so what we'll do now this is a crucial part, all right? So what we're going to do is we're going to get the top ones tightened up relatively tight, and then we need to work out, is that exactly the right position, or do we need to slide it forward a bit more or slide it back a bit more? The reason being is when you open the awning, I don't want a big gap here, because then I'll end up rain coming through. So look, where I've pretty much got it there, so you can actually move it. So I might move it there a fraction, tighten it up in that place, and then we'll have a look, okay? All right, guys, so as you can see, we've got the two protruding at the bottom. We've got the two at the top with nuts. And we'll just tighten these up. Now this is where it gets interesting. The variety of different setups. All right, so that's nice and firm. We'll do the two down that end, and then we'll open it up. We'll open it up and have a look. All right, guys, and it's that simple. Pretty straightforward. Look, every roof rack's going to have its own little idiosyncrasies and whatnot. And I mean, like all of these nuts and bolts that came with, I ended up not using hardly any of them. But that's the thing. OPENROAD provide all that sort of stuff, so you're not going shopping elsewhere and running around. All right, so let's open it up and see how she all goes. Again, nice and simple. And again, it's first time me opening it. Okay, lift that up. Lift that up. Okay, now there is a little don't forget we've got those little ropes. Now, I'm assuming this is the one. All right, so this is what we hook on here. And let's pull her open. And there you go. All right, so straight away, what I notice is this needs to come forward a little bit. So what we're going to do, loosen up a couple of bolts, and then, mate, I reckon about maybe 2 inches, and that'll be perfect, okay? But mate, she's looking good. Can't wait to try it all out. All right, guys, so we've made the adjustment. Let's see how she goes this time around. There you go, much better. All right. That's quite nice. Nice finish. Poles, let's drop the poles down. Super simple. And again, remember, this is freestanding, but in high winds, put the poles up. And again, it doesn't matter what height the ground is, you just get it to your right level, tighten it up, and that's it. There you go. Pretty good. Let's pop the lights on. Nice and simple. Again, I like the fact I didn't have to pre-wire all the lighting up. So you've just got this, okay? And then what happens is plug in 1, 2, and 3, and plug it into a power source over here. Okay, so easy. And straight away. See, and what I love about it too, the switch is actually built straight into the actual bar itself. And then this one. Pretty simple. Now there's a little protective coating on these lights. We'll take that off. One thing I like too is the Velcro straps for the poles. They're actually fixed in place, so you're not going to lose them. Okay, so perfect positioning lighting above the kitchen and out here. Again, height-wise, it's great for me because I need this thing really low. But again, it can go super high. So, all right, that's it. So I'm pretty happy. We'll take you for a bit of a closer look all the way around. So like I said, the built-in lighting system, built into the framework. These are the plugs here. So you literally just plug them back in. Okay, and then this is the switch. 2, and the various different lighting modes. Okay, really nice finish inside. And again, ripstop canvas with its special eclipse coating. These poles, these look really good. So like I said, you just loosen that up, slide that up, pop that in place. And again, I'm just doing it with one hand. She's done. And that's the mechanism there. And again, undo the Velcro, tighten that up, and she's done. Alright, so if you come back for the next video, I'll show you the walls that come with it. So, and again, that's just, okay, so you got, again, tie downs here. You've also got tie downs on the corners as well, all the way around. Nice long skirt. So in my instance too, and there's even a pole on this corner too. So in my instance, just before I open the door, or I pull it tight, I need to pull down this pole if I want to use it. And then also, this is the way it's then secured. So I ended up putting a loop just on my roof rack. And then basically you just pull it tight from there. So that's sort of the perfect length. Nice and easy. All right guys, all done. All right guys, so I'll quickly just pack these up. And like I said before, I've just got a power bank. Plug that into the power bank. And that's it. Lighting off a power bank. All right, and it looks like they've done actually a lot better job around this mechanism in relation to basically making it a bit more waterproof. Again, we'll test it and let you know. Again, there's a little bit of a breeze going now. And I was a little bit worried about the size compared to the other one, but I think we should be fine. Alright guys, so that clip completes the installation video. I'll pack it up for you so you can see how easy it is to pack up. And yeah. Again, just make sure the buckles, pull them out on top. So this is where the King's one lets you down, not having this middle strap. Alright guys, there you go. Pretty simple, nice and easy. And again, the way I've mounted it, it's perfect for the doors. Let's move the zips to that position. No dramas. Alright, there you go. Any questions, pop them in the comments below. There'll be a separate video in relation to the awning. If you want to purchase these, you can get them directly from OPENROAD 4-wheel drive's website in either Australia or the US. And we've got a discount code for you, Davidabella 25. That's DAVIDABELA 25. So if you pop that in, you'll get a discount as well. So yeah, let us know what you think. Again, any questions whatsoever, drop it in the comments below, and watch out for future videos. Again, I'll be putting it through its paces well and truly all throughout Australia. I'm actually heading up to the high country in a couple of weeks, so you'll see some videos of it in action in the next couple of weeks. All right guys, take it easy. See you in the next video. As per usual, like, subscribe, share it around, and I'll see you out in the road or the trails or in the next video. Cheers guys, bye.